Okay, today I'm going to show you how to use translucent stains. A lot of people are afraid of translucents because they think they're going to ruin their piece, but I don't stain anything without using translucents somewhere in the process. First thing you want to do is put on a pair of disposable gloves, because it does get messy and the paint is a little hard to get out from under your fingernails if you get it in there. Once again, we're using Dunkin' stains. This is a TS, which stands for translucent, and it's a water base, so it cleans up with soap and water. You want to shake it up real well. If you don't have a ceramic tile, just use a piece of aluminum foil. Sometimes that's what I do. If I don't feel like looking for my tiles, I'll just get the aluminum foil out. Okay, and what you want to use is a soft bristled brush. Once again, this is a Dunkin' brush. That's the only thing I use is Dunkin' products. You want a nice soft bristled brush. You see, you know how easy they bend. So that's what you want to do. First thing you want to do is get a little wet. I always wet my brush to start. And once again, they are water-based translucents. So if you feel it's a little thick, you can just put a drop or two of water in there and pick up where you left off. This is the piece I'm going to antique. And as you can see, it's got some detail in it. And that's where the translucent stain really works well. You don't have to be tidy. You want to work with a small area at a time, though. You don't want to glop it on and don't want to put it on the entire piece. Just a small area. It's the paint isn't as stinky as the oil base stains were, but it still has kind of an odd smell. So that's one thing you should be prepared for. It's not a heavy odor, and it's not particularly unpleasant, but I don't really care for it. So make sure you get, work your paint into everything. Don't miss anything. Then you take a nice soft cloth. I use my husband's old t-shirts, which work great because they don't leave any lint. And then you just start wiping back. As you can see on this piece, it's making the lines on the pumpkin show up a lot better. It brings out the detail, basically, is what it does. In another video that I am going to post later, I am going to dry brush this piece, and that way you can see what a finished product will look like. But once you put this on, you probably want to wait 24 hours before you do anything else to the piece. Like I said, I'm going to dry brush this. I'm going to show you how to dry brush. What I'm basically going to do on this is bring the colors back up and give it a little bit of shading. And if you think you've left it on a little too long, you're not satisfied with the way it looks, it's too dark, or you take another cloth, get a little water on it, a clean one, get a little bit of water on it, don't want it sopping wet, you just want it damp. And then you can take that and go back over your piece, and you see how it'll brighten it right back up. Like I said, you just want to work with a small area at a time. But you'd be amazed at how it brings the details out on your piece. I said, a lot of people are afraid, they think, well, I'm going to ruin it if I put that on there, but that's far from the truth. This, to me, will really make the detail stand. You know, here's a good place to show you right here, like these leaves. See, you can see all the, now you can see all the creases and folds in the leaves that you couldn't see before. Same way with the pumpkin. Now you can see all the creases in the pumpkin and all the detail will stand out. And then if you think you don't have, if you think you've wiped off too much, you can always go back and you can put it back on. That's not a big deal. But like I said, I do this to everything that I stain because I think it really helps bring out the detail. And if you don't have, you know, the steadiest hand, which, you know, sometimes I don't, I'll be the first to admit it, and the lines have gotten a little squiggly or a little blurry, or you just don't like the way it looks, an antique is a good way to cover up any mistakes, small mistakes that you have, real or imagined. It just, I think it gives the piece like a whole new dimension. It looks more detailed, it looks more 3D. Like I said, just wipe it back till you have it where you want it. And if it's still not light enough for you, take the cloth over it. Again, and then like I said, if you don't like the way it looks, get a little bit of water and get a clean place on your cloth, wet it till it's damp, and go back over it. Okay, that's about it. Now in my next video, I'll show you how to dry brush this and bring the colors up and put some shading on it with 2 or 3 different colors of orange. In the same way with the green, there's fall leaves on here. I'll show you how to dry brush those, give them a nice fall color, all the different colors of fall. And you find out, like I said, antiquing is not that hard, it's not that scary, and neither is dry brushing. It's kind of a hit and miss thing, and once you've got it, you've got it.